and good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good old people of the tube. Hope for today, hope you're feeling grand and always well in your world. Hello there, everybody. We went to another world in the intro jam, so I certainly hope you liked it. The idea behind that is sit back, close your eyes, and just daydream. Just see where it takes you. That's what the idea of that was. Because I don't remember where I went, but it was very nice there, and I'm going to go back there. Okay, so, yes. So I hope you enjoyed the intro jam. It was very long, but it was, you know, good fun. It was nice. It was cleansing. It was very kind of, yeah, I like that, actually. I feel a bit otherworldly now, though. So bear with me while I get my brain back. Okay, so question one today, everybody. Welcome to Q&A, everybody. Welcome to question one. Welcome to question one. See? Not there yet. It's the bow's fault, everybody. I'm going to blame the violin bow for this one. Okay, yeah, anyway. Welcome to another Q&A, everybody. Let's get to question one, shall we? Yes, let's shall. That's what we're here for, David. Okay, so question one. What do you feel are the best speakers to pair with the CR120? And also, somebody asked that one, and then somebody also asked, another person asked altogether in a different question, what cab would you recommend? So I thought I'd answer both in question one, since it's kind of the same kind of thing. Okay, so what speakers are a good... it's not there, Dave. It's through there right now because there's an AVT sat there. Okay, so... and you'll see that soon. But what speakers are best to pair with the CR120? I personally feel... Only my opinion. It's the G12... The Celestion G12 75s. They're a 75 watt speaker. They're my favourite speaker of all time to pair with any amp, including the CR120. But I personally feel that they're the best for the CR120. They just let the amp breathe and let it kind of be what it wants to be, instead of kind of like something it's trying to be, or whatever. You know, or something it's held back from being. That don't make any sense. I still can't get my head out of the intro jam, everybody. I'm totally not here. But I'm going to do my best. But yeah, the CR120 really loves the G12 75s, as does the MG, as does the AVT, and as does any amp I've ever plugged into these speakers. Sadly, I can't do it with a Katana. But, yeah, the G12 75 are my favourite speaker of all time. They're just absolutely amazing. So that's what I would recommend myself. If you're going to get a CR120 and a cab, I would go for something with Celestion G12 75s myself. And as for the other one, what cab would I pair it with? It would always be the Marshall JCM 900A or B cab. They're just my favourite cabs. I just love them to bits. They're relatively inexpensive as well. I mean, I picked up this A cab cost me 100 quid. I did have a B cab, but I sold that recently. The B cab cost me 150. Just because it was in better condition than my A cab. My A cab's a lot more beaten and battered, and I've used it a lot more, and it's my favourite cab I own. This cab here, it's my number one cab. I adore it to bits. Pits. It's gonna be one of those Q&As, everybody. Brace yourselves. But yeah, I really do. I love this amp to bits. It's amazing. This cab to bits. Ah! Get my head screwed back on. But yeah, G12 75 by Celestion, and the cab I'd recommend easily is the JCM 900 A or B cab. You can't go wrong with either. The B cab is a bit more bottom end. It's a bit more kind of like that sounding, whereas the A cab is a lot more even, I think. But they're both ace, so you can't really go wrong with either. So that's what I would recommend. And I've spoken about it before. About what speaker, and I just like the warmth of the 75s, and I like the fact that, you know, the 75 watts, you know, you're never going to be worried about power. The really cool thing about the JCM 900 cabs as well is the fact you can run them in stereo, 8 ohm, so you can have one amp going through one side of two speakers, and then another amp going through another two speakers through one cab. You can also run them at 4 ohm and 16 ohm, so you're covered no matter where you are. So you've got 4, 8, and 16. So you know, you're never going to worry about ohmage with one of these beasts, because it's just there. Everything's just there. It's all covered. So yeah. So that is the cab and the speaker I would recommend for the CR120 myself. I just feel, like I say, it just makes the amp behave and do what it wants to do, and it gives it a smoother response than any other speaker I've tried it with. There's always, especially the voice of the world speakers that came stock originally in this speaker. In my Orange cab, originally was voice of the world speaker. They're not in there anymore. I've got MG Celestians in here now, but the voice of the world speakers I always thought were harsh, even when they were broken in, like mine were. I got mine broken in. I still don't like the sound of them. I don't think they do the amp justice, in my opinion. My opinion. I'm sure there's some people out there who absolutely adore the Celestian, the voice of the world speakers. But for me, I feel that it hindered the amp a bit. The Celestians give the CR120 a smoother, warmer, rounder sound. So yeah. So that's what I'd recommend. Failing that, I'd go for something like an MG cab, which opinion is divided definitely on the MG cabs. But the older MG cabs with the old Celestian MG speakers, which is what's in my Orange cab now, are amazing, and I love the sound of them to bits. They sound really, really cool. So, yeah, hope that's answered your question. I'm going to move on to question 2 now, everybody. Question 2. Have you ever used a Boss SD1 Super Overdrive, and how did you get a sound you liked from it? Yeah, I did used to have a Super Overdrive. I owned one for about 2 years before I sold it because I wasn't using it. The Golden Plexi came along, and then there was the Jackhammer, which I had the Jackhammer before, but I didn't use it. It wasn't until breaking out the Jackhammer I was like, wow, it blew me away again. But yeah, I did have the Super Overdrive, and it was a really nice pedal. It's a great pedal. There was multiple ways to get... I mean, it's a really simple pedal, the SD1, the Super Overdrive. It's just a stupendously, brilliantly simple pedal. I can't even get my words out. Intro Jam has just fried my brain, everybody. But yeah, it's a stupendously, brilliantly easy to use the pedal. Like all Boss pedals are. You know, like DS1s, DS2s, Super Overdrives, choruses... They're just so easy to kind of dial in. One thing I would recommend though with the SD1 is don't run the tone very high. I ran the tone on the SD1. If I was using the SD1 for distortion, which I didn't use a great deal, I used it for like a mild kind of John Frusciante crunch, kind of clean kind of tone, and it was really good for that. But oddly enough, it didn't pair well with the DS2, which you'd think it would, being a Boss pedal, but it didn't. The DS2 is so picky. And it just didn't like the gain that the SD1 was kicking out. So it was one of the reasons I ended up selling the SD1 is I couldn't use it in the way I wanted it. So I ended up selling it because I wasn't just going to use it. If it wasn't compatible with my main pedals, which I've used forever, I'm not really going to be interested in using it. But it's an amazing pedal. But I used to run the tone anywhere between off and a quarter. So anywhere between 7 and 9 o'clock. I never ran it higher than that. And the same goes with a DS1. When I used to own the DS1, I never ran the tone on at all. I always had the tone off on the DS2. I never had the tone in at all. On the DS1, sorry. I think I said DS2. But yeah, I never used to use the tone dial at all on the DS1. And same thing with the SD1. The Super Overdrive, I used to run the tone anywhere between, like I say, off and like a quarter. So yeah, like I say, 7 to 9 o'clock. And then I'll just vary the tone, the gain, sorry, as much as like the overdrive as much as possible. I never really ran the overdrive full, even though it sounded immense full. The overdrive full sounded really, really nice. I remember it sounding really, really warm and rich, and loads of people swear by the SD1's overdrive, and it's a mainstay of a lot of people's setups. It's just a really, really awesome pedal, really great sound. But I liked it more for its kind of subtle overdrive, cleany crunch kind of tone, that kind of John Frusciante thing. I liked it more for that. Although, like I say, it didn't play well with the Ibanez wah and the DS2, which is a bit depressing because I really, really love that pedal. I've got a video on it somewhere, actually. I can't remember what the video was. I think I'm positive it was something to do with the CR120, and I did it years ago. And I made a little pedal board up, and it had the DS1 on it and the SD1. But I don't remember the video at all. I don't remember what it was or what I was doing in that video. But I remember using it in a video at one point. But yeah, mega pedal. But I used to run... I'll say the tone anywhere between 7 and 9 o'clock. The overdrive was run somewhere between Probably about 9 and 11 o'clock. I never used to run it over half. I did a couple of times run it flat out, and it was really nice, creamy overdrive. But I never used it for that sound. I had my governor for that sound, and my DS2 for that sound. So I just used to use it for that subtle overdrive. And the volume, I just used to run at half. So yeah, so that's what I did. But you know, experience may vary, so to say. Depending on your amp, your setup, your leads, your guitar, you know, and you. But yeah, that's what I used to do, and it was a really, really cool pedal. But like, it's one of those pedals that, like, you know, it was amazing. But I you know, not to sound negative towards it, but I don't really, I didn't need it. You know what I mean? It was one of those pedals that was kind of like surplus to requirements by the end, kind of thing. So I ended up selling it. It's like a DS1. I got to a point many, many years ago where I know what I want out of pedals, and when it doesn't give me it, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I know if it's an overdrive pedal, I know what I want from it. If it's a distortion pedal, I know what I want from it. If it's a fuzz pedal, I know what I want from it. Wah pedals, delays, choruses. I know what I want. I'm a very kind of like I'm very kind of stuck in my ways. I'm very kind of blinkered. It's kind of like I've had a sound in my head since like the first year I was playing guitar of what I wanted. You know, for clean tones, overdrive, you know, subtle overdrive tones, distortion tones, choruses, delays, reverbs, all that kind of thing. I've had a sound in my head from like the first year I played guitar, and I haven't moved from that in all these years. And I really like, you know, like I've said before, and you all probably know, but I like a really dark, warm overdrive sound. Like, you know, I don't really like fizzy kind of, I don't use treble, so you know, stuff like that. And when something no longer when I no longer use something because, like, you know, it's fallen out of favor, or I just don't have a use for it, you know, it's surplus requirements and it has to move on. The DS1 was the same kind of thing. I had a DS1 for ages, and I tried to find a way to fit it into what I was doing and how I was doing it, and I could never get it to fit, so I eventually just got rid of it. And the same with SD1. SD1 was an amazing pedal, and I love it to bits, but it was never going to replace my Golden Plexi or my Jackhammer or I've been made a really cool Blues Breaker pedal, which I'll show you very soon. It was never going to replace that or my Blues Breaker pedal or any of these others. It was always definitely kind of like, you know, awesome pedal, but never kind of like high on the list for something I would use. So I've tangented into a total irrelevant story, but anyway, but yeah, so but that's how I'd run my SD1, if I can remember. That's as I remember running it. Like I said, I never used it flat out for distortion, for overdrive, like, you know, lots of gain. I usually used to do kind of like mild, kind of like cleany crunch kind of sounds. You know, the John Frusciante sound is basically what I was after with it, and I got it, but like I say, it didn't play well with the DS2 or the Ibanez. So yeah, and because of that, and because the DS2 and the Ibanez are part of my setup and have been for a long time and will be forever. Like, you know, I will always use the DS2. I'll always use an Ibanez at some point. You know, like I use the Vox. You know, the Ibanez and the Vox Silvertop are my favourite wah-wahs of all time. And because I love them so much, I don't feel the need to look elsewhere. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing. And the same with Governor distortion pedals and the Tone City Golden Plexi and the Jackhammers and the Blues Breaker pedals. You know, and the Katanas and the MGs and the CR120s. Once I find something that works for me, I stick to it like it's made of glue. Like I'm made of glue, should I say. Or it's made of glue and it sticks to me. Because if it works for me, I don't see the need to kind of like chop and change kind of thing. So hence my pedal board, my analog pedal board has been the same for many, many years. You know, I think the Zoom pedal, I've always had a Zoom pedal on my pedal board, and I got the Governor in 2007. And it's been on my board ever since. I got the Tone City a couple of years ago. That's been on my board ever since. I had a Tube Screamer before that, but again, that didn't play well with the DS2. The DS2 I've had for donkey's years. Absolutely donkey's years. And the same with my Vox Silvertop and the Ibanez Wah I got in 2010 or 11. So like I say, I'm a bit of a stickler. And I say I've been using MGs since 2004. So it's like, so I'm a bit of a kind of like, you know, I know what works for me and what doesn't, and that's kind of brought me around in a neat kind of circle in a way. But it's a bit of a ramble circle. But yeah, because the SD1 was kind of like not behaving with certain pedals, and I couldn't find a way to fit it in, even though it's an amazing pedal, it eventually, you know, I sold it on. It just wasn't for me, so to say. Although it's an awesome pedal, and I wouldn't sniff at one. If I turned up at a gig and somebody had one and they said you can use it, I'll be like, yay, awesome. But it's not my go-to. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of thing. Anyway, that's a waffle. But I hope you enjoyed that answer for what it was. If it wasn't even an answer, I don't even know why I said enjoyed. But I'll tell you, that intro has absolutely took me out of the world. I am not here, everybody. I am not here. Please leave a message and Dave will call you back when he's ready. When he's back. What am I on about? I don't know what about. But anyway, but yeah, the SD1 is an ace pedal, but like I say, it's not something I would go out and get. But that's how I used to set mine up. Even though that wasn't even part of the question, Dave. Why did you answer that part? Why did you make that up? I don't know, Dave. I just got lost in the moment, okay? Well, why? Anyway, moving along. I hope that's answered your question okay. I don't feel it was a very good answer, though. Sorry. I'm trying, but I'm absolutely zoned out. That's the word, zoned out. I'm zoned out from that intro. And it was like 9 minutes something. So I was just totally lost myself for 9 minutes. Awesome. I love it. I love that. I mean, before I get to question 3, that is one of the most awesome things about music in the world that I absolutely love. It's just that getting lost in it. You know, at that point in time, there's just nothing else. There's just the music, and that's all there is. I mean, if that's not... just makes me happy. I love losing myself in music. I love the fact when I'm like, I don't know where I am and I don't know what I'm doing. You know, afterwards. It's just... when things take you away like that, it's so awesome. Anyway, shut up, Dave, and keep doing the questions. Okay, so question 3, everybody. Question 3. Okay. Question 3. Would you consider doing a series where you watch an amazing guitar solo or performance and then comment on it? And then maybe talk about how to play the solo and your initial reaction to it? Not really, no. I mean, it's not something there's a lot of those kind of reaction videos on YouTube, and it's not something I really want to get into myself, really. Just because there's so many of them. And, I don't know. I mean, it's not something... I have seen them, and I've watched a few, but I've never really watched loads of them. I've never really been a massive fan of reaction videos. I mean, they're okay, but I've never really kind of, like, clicked with them, so to say. But yeah, it's not something I'd really be interested in doing myself, personally. Just because there's so many of them. There's so many reaction videos out there, like, you know, vocal teachers reacting to this, and guitarists reacting to this, and bass players reacting to this. And there's so many of it, it's like I don't really feel like I don't really want to do it. You know what I mean? I don't think if I watched, like, say, a John Frusciante guitar solo and I said it felt like this and it meant this and it's this, that and the other, it's like I don't want to sway people's opinions on what it means to them. You know, because it's so easy to kind of, like, when you're watching somebody react to something and they say, oh, it's doing this and it's doing that and it's making me feel like this, it's making me feel like that. You can pick up on those. You can, and you invariably do pick up on their emotions instead of your emotions, and it can kind of muddy the waters a bit, I think. Because there has been times where I've been watching. I don't watch reaction videos a great deal, if at all. Really, it's just not something I really watch. But there has been times where I've watched it and I'm like, you know, you start picking up on the person who's reacting to it. Emotions instead of your own, and it kind of clouds what you feel about it. So as an example, I watched a vocal teacher's reaction to Devin Townsend singing Kingdom on EMG TV, and if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Incredible performance by him. mind-blowing. Anyway, I was watching this vocal teacher reacting to it, and I suddenly started to realise I was kind of like picking up on this person's emotions instead of actually kind of my emotions, which is what, when I first watched that video on my own, how I initially felt, which was like, whoa, this is the most amazing thing ever, you know, because this is really awesome. I started to pick up on this other person's emotions, which weren't my own, and it wasn't. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like the way this is kind of like steering me. It's kind of dragging me into a direction that doesn't make me feel that, so to say. So yeah, it's not really something that's on my kind of like radar to do kind of thing. Reaction videos. It's not, unless something kind of came up like, you know, I don't know, where it felt just, or I felt like I have to do this, kind of like, you know, it would have to be like that. Other than that, I don't really feel the need to kind of like do those kind of action videos. Like I said, there's so many of them. Like I said, I don't want to sway people's emotions in that way. You know what I mean? Because like I say, you can kind of get led astray, so to say, from your own emotions by other people's. You know, it's that kind of same kind of thing of like, you know, if somebody's in a bad mood and you're in a really good mood and they walk into the same room you are, eventually either they'll feel really good or you'll feel really bad. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you pick up on people's emotions in this kind of weird way. And I don't really, and I feel that reaction videos kind of do that. They kind of sway you. Because if you're watching somebody reacting to something you really like and then they say, oh, it's rubbish, oh, that was terrible, you shouldn't have done that, and this, that, and the other, you know, you can actually start getting swayed by that and going, actually, yeah, you got a point there. Maybe you shouldn't have done this, and maybe you shouldn't have done that, and that person shouldn't have done this, and she shouldn't have done that, and he shouldn't have done that, you know, and all that kind of thing. You start to get swayed by it, and I don't think that's a good thing in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, so it's not really something I'd be very interested in doing just for that reason alone. Really, I don't really feel comfortable kind of doing that kind of thing. It just makes me feel a bit like, you know, like I said, I don't want to sway people's opinions on certain things, just because it's my opinion, and some things like my opinion on certain things really matter to me, and only make sense to me. You know what I mean? And I kind of don't want to put myself in the firing line of some of those kind of things, because you can kind of invite certain negativity with certain opinions like that, and I don't really want to do that. It's like, you know, I don't want to go down that road, so to say. I want to keep negativity out, you know. So things that I feel, you know, that I kind of like really care about or something like that, somebody else won't, and it might give a YouTube troll, kind of like, you know, a reason to kind of chime in, so to say, which isn't cool, and I don't like that, and I don't appreciate kind of negativity. You know, it's not conducive to anything at all. So yeah, it's not something I've really kind of considered doing. Well, I have considered doing it, but it's not something I'd ever really want to do, to be honest with you. Just because of those reasons, it just doesn't really work for me. It's not really my kind of thing. It doesn't. You know, it's just not. I don't feel like I want to do it. You know what I mean? And I've got to have that right feeling to do something like that, and if it's not there, I don't want to do it. I prefer to go by feel and not by kind of like, you know, anything else really. If I can feel what I'm doing is right, then, you know, it is right. If I feel like it's doing, like, you know, that's not something I really want to do, is, you know, it's going to be not right. I don't want to do it. So but yeah, so yeah, sorry. Again, not a very good answer, was it? Sorry. But yeah, it's not something I'd consider doing, like reaction videos and stuff like that. The idea of talking about how to play a solo is quite cool. I like the idea of that, like talking about, like, you know, how, you know, John Frusciante did this or Jimi Hendrix did. Well, it won't be Jimi Hendrix, because I'll get flagged for copyright by the Hendrix estate. Love to do that, but I can't. But yeah, stuff like that I'd love to do. But the whole kind of like reaction video thing, no, it's not for me. Unless, like I say, it's a certain thing. But anyway, so hope that's the next question. Sorry, it's not really an answer, and I do apologise immensely, but hopefully there's something in there, and I've waffled again. I'm starting to feel like I'm coming back to normal now. I'm starting to level out. I can feel myself kind of like becoming a bit more level. Takes its time. Okay, so question 4 now, already. Moving on to question 4. He says, what chords were you playing on the intro jam on the 12th of December on the 12th of December Q&A? I really want to learn it. Okay, so what chords was I playing on the intro jam on the Q&A that was out on the 12th of December. The chords I was playing were E major, B major, C sharp minor, A major for the kind of like the verse part, if you will. And then there was like a chorusy part, which was C sharp minor, A major, E major, and B major. So, you're there? So yeah, the verse was E major, B major, C sharp minor, and A major. And then the chorus was C sharp minor, A major, E major, and B major. And I was soloing over it mainly in C sharp minor pentatonic, just this scale. And then there was also E major pentatonic. So yeah, that's the chords, that's the kind of scales I was using. I think I was all over. I had to go back and relearn it because I didn't remember it at all. I pressed play on the video. I was like, I literally don't remember any of that. Because all my intro jams are one-take deals. Like I say, I like all my intro jams to be kind of like captured moments in time. Like this morning, I woke up and I really wanted to do something with a bow for the intro jam. Because I think I've only ever done something with a bow once with an intro jam, and I only made a backing track with it. I didn't actually use it. And I really wanted to do something with the bow today, and I literally... I'm using my Line 6 HX today as well, everybody. Instead of my other board, I'm using my Line 6 HX today, and I was using a particle verb, which is one of my favourite effects of all time and space. And I was using that, and that was initially like the idea I wanted. And I literally just pressed record, and just that was it. Whatever came out in that point in time, never to be repeated probably. So yeah, that's what it was. And I was changing effects, and I got the looper going at one point, which wasn't the plan, but things changed. But yeah, like I say, I love the fact that the intro jams are just like, you know, that spur of moment. It's very rare I do another take, unless the guitar goes wildly out of tune or I break a string, which very rarely happens, but it'll happen all the time now I've said that. Cursed myself, I tells you. Cursed myself! Anyway, but yeah, I don't like to do multiple takes of intro jams. I like to just kind of like do it on the moment, get lost in it, and then try and come back to normal to do a Q&A, which sometimes I can do, and today I can't because I'm just totally lost in that ethereal intro jam where I just feel absolutely like that. That's the only way I can describe it. Yeah, hope that face describes that. But yeah, so that's the chords I was using. That's the scales I was mainly using, but I was all over the place. I think I don't remember. I can't watch myself and not cringe. So I was kind of like just listening and kind of like just going, right, don't look, Dave, just listen. Okay, that's the chords. Okay, turn it off. Turn him off. Turn him off. Anyway, it's like, I just don't like looking at myself. But that's another reason altogether. Anyway, that's why I hate mirrors. Is that the reason you look the way you do, Dave? Is because you don't look in the mirror? Maybe so, Dave. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm on about. I've just lost my mind today, everybody. I've lost my mind! What's this? What's that? Help me. Okay, moving on. Question 5. Question 5. Question 5. Question 5. Okay, so question 5. I've blurred my eye out now. I think that intro's maybe high. I don't know. I don't know. Question 5. Do you ever use a foot switch on your Boss Katana to change channels? No. I don't. The Katana for me is either a pedal platform amp or just a plug in and play amp with no pedals kind of thing. It's not something I ever kind of really kind of look into kind of switching channels. Although I would like to try that at some point. It's just the foot switch for the Boss Katana being like 80 quid is a bit out of my price range right now. I've just bankrupted myself buying a Marshall AVT and its matching cab. But it's not something I really do. I mean, I love the Katana to plug straight in and play around with because it's just one of those amps where like I can just kind of manipulate it in a way where I can kind of get whatever I want and just kind of ride the volume control, so to say. So I've never really felt the need to kind of change channels between on the Katana myself, but I would like to give it a go at some point. But like I say, it's just getting around to buying the foot switch, and it's a lot of money excuse me, that I would pay for something I wouldn't really use. I wouldn't really use the foot switch. I'd still end up using my pedals. Although saying that, the Katana 100 with its savable presets, I would be quite happy to program the Katana with 4 presets, so you can have like a clean, a distortion, a boost, and like an effects kind of thing. I'd be quite happy to kind of use the Katana and a wah-wah pedal, and maybe the DS2, just so I can get the John Frusciante wah. But that'd be a tiny setup. That'd be a very tiny setup. I don't know. I've never used one, but it is something that's on my kind of radar for the future, so to say. You know, definitely curious, and you know, at some point I will be doing that. It's because the Katana 100 scares me in that way, in the fact I could literally do everything I want from the amp without external pedals. The amp will do it for me. You know, like, you know, having delays and reverbs and stuff like that. It's, you know, it's all in there. So it terrifies me, the Boss Katana, in a way, because it's almost like the ultimate amp. Is it the ultimate amp? I don't know. I can't really answer that question, but it's definitely one of them. You know, same way as the CR120 is, and same way the MG is. You know, they've got something that just makes them extremely versatile. Just really, really incredible amps. They really are incredible amps. But yeah. At some point, yeah, I'd like to do that. I also want to try just the regular foot switch, see if it works, see what happens. I've never tried anything foot switch wise with the Katana before. So, no, I haven't. Oh no, tell a lie, I have. See, I'm with it today, everybody. I remember trying a foot switch, my PB Bandit foot switch in it, which I fixed. It was broken and I fixed. But it didn't do anything. So, I don't know. I mean, I tried maybe I didn't fix it. I don't know. What am I on about today? I've lost my mind today. Shut up, Dave, and keep going. So yeah, channel switching isn't something I really do with the Katana. I have set presets for my pedal board and just plug straight in. Like on my Boss Katana 100, channel 1 is my pedal board, channel 2 is a clean tone, channel 3 is a full out distortion tone, and channel 4 is like an overdrive kind of bluesy Jimi Hendrix kind of tone. And on my Boss Katana 50, channel 1 is my pedal board and channel 2 is a clean tone with an overdrive. So if my pedal board ever failed at a gig and I'm using my Katana 50, I can plug straight into the Katana and just ride the volume control and get clean to overdrive sounds. So and that's what channel 2 does on the Katana 100. So yeah, but like I say, I just invariably use pedals. But it's something I'd be interested in doing, especially kind of like using everything from there. You know, could I do an entire gig with the Katana and a wah pedal with a foot switch? Probably. You know, it's one of those scary amps. But anyway, yeah, I think there's everything in there. I think everyone, you know, can get mental with those things. Anyway, I'm losing my mind. You also said, could you possibly share some famous people's settings, EQ settings on the Katana? I'll do that soon. I'll do that in a whole separate video, like I did with the Loud and Proud pedal. I think I'll do a video with the Katana. Well, people of the tube, which one do you want to see? Do you want to see? Well, let me talk about what I'm going to do first, and then we'll get to that. But yeah, I think I'll do a whole video on kind of like, you know, have a list of like loads of artists, like I say, like Richie Blackmore, Randy Rhoads, John Frusciante, Jimi Hendrix, Peter Green, Paul Kossoff, blah, blah, blah. All these people, I have them in a list, and I'll basically just kind of like go through and try and I'll really make an effort to write down the EQ and just kind of explain what sound I'm going for. But people of the tube, which Katana do you want to see? They're both pretty much the same, but which one? Well, the Katana 100 or the Katana 50? Let me know in the comment section below which one you'd like to see on that one. And I say which one of them gets most votes, I'll do it. But in all fairness, they're the same amp in a way, because The settings I have for my Katana 50 are the same settings I have on my Katana 100. And they sound very same. The only difference is the presence on the Katana 100 instead of the treble on the 50. Okay, so yeah, hope this answers the question. Going to move on to the final question of the day now. Question 6. Come here, Miss Paper. Flying away. Okay, so question 6. How can I get a Oswald John Strat Mark III like yours? You're going to have to contact Mr. Master Nick Oswald. The link is in the description box below at the top. Just below where my email address is. You'll have to contact him. He doesn't build parts guitars, though. That was a one-off thing. Him building the neck and the body for me, for the John Mark III, is just a one-off. It was just something, he just did because he's an extremely kind, awesome person. But it's not something he wants to do a lot of. He wants to build full guitars. So you would have to contact Nick and talk to him about, what you wanted. As I say, description box is below. He's an extremely easy person to talk to, and he just knows, he's just a genius, an absolute genius. So you'll have to contact Nick and have a chat with him about that. The relic job I did myself, but Nick can relic guitars as well. If you follow him on Instagram and Facebook, which I certainly hope you are, he does do really awesome kind of like relic guitars as well. So I'm sure he'd be quite happy to do that kind of thing for you if you're after that kind of thing. So yeah, so contact Nick at description box, link in the description box below. So yeah, there we go, everybody. That's it. Final question today. Weird Q&A, because I felt like I've kind of dreamed through this one, so I've probably said loads of rubbish and waffled on and a load of nonsense. Oh, there is one thing I wanted to mention really quickly. I've been getting a lot of comments recently about people saying, I need to do an album of my intro jams and stuff like this, and you need to kind of write and record some music. So in the description box below, I've included the link to my Bandcamp, where I have a couple of albums you can buy and download and stream on there. So there's a link for that in the description box below. Because quite a few people have been asking, you need to do this, and I have done, but I'm useless at plugging myself because I don't like to force things on people. I don't like to say oh, by the way, support me on this and this and this and this and this, and I also have this and this anyway. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'm not very good at that kind of self-promotion kind of thing. I'm too uncomfortable with it. It doesn't feel right. A lot of people have been asking about t-shirts as well, and I'm working on it. Again, t-shirts wasn't something I ever thought I'd have to do, but a lot of people have asked for t-shirts, so bear with me on that one. Soon. No. What am I doing? I need to go and lay down or something. I don't know. I've just lost my mind this morning. I've totally lost my mind. That intro jam has just fried me. It just took me out of the world. It's like... It's wicked, but I'm trying to concentrate, and I just can't concentrate. All I've got going through my mind is this kind of swirly, whirly things. And it's quite hard to concentrate. Anyway, I don't know what this was. It's like my hand earlier on when I was doing that. I was like, I don't know what that is. Anyway. Take a breath. Okay, so, moving on. So yeah, like I say, t-shirts coming soon. Like I say, link to my Bandcamp is in the description box below. I'm also going to... soon I have a song that I'm going to release. It's a new song I'm going to release, and I need to do a video explaining what it's about. And it's not going to be an easy video, and I'm not really looking forward to it. And I'm kind of putting it off in a way, because people have always asked me why does the song "Scar Tissue" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers mean so much to you? And I've always been dead cryptic in why, because I don't. It's not an easy thing to talk about why that song means so much to me, but the song I've just recorded, well, not just recorded, I literally recorded it before Christmas. I'm putting it off because it's going to be a difficult video. The song I've just recorded is inspired by the event that made Scar Tissue mean so much to me. So I thought I would kind of talk about that in one video, but it's not going to be an easy video to do. hence me putting it off and off and off and off and off. But I will get to it soon, and I really want to release this song, which at this point in time doesn't even have a title. I can't think of a title for it. I don't want it to be Untitled. I want it to have a name, but it's just an instrumental song. It's not got lyrics or anything like that. It's all about the feeling of it and what it means, and it's a really difficult subject to talk about. So I will get around to it at some point. It's just going to take me a bit of time to actually be able to talk myself into it, so to say. But I will be doing a video on that soon. I've got this thing to demo. Also, this video, there will be no video on Friday, but there will be a video on Thursday. The reason for this being is I'm going to be going to a gig on Friday in Liverpool, and I'm not going to be able to I won't be here to put the video up, so I'm going to put my video up for Friday on Thursday. So I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I think it might be a demo of this AVT. Because I've wanted an AVT for a long time, and this came up at a really low price. So I snatched it. And I think I might just demo that. But I don't know. People of the tube, do you want to see an AVT demo tomorrow? Let me know. Anyway, yeah. No, I am going to do that. Yes, I am going to do that. I'm going to demo the AVT for Thursday, everybody. So Thursday's vid is going to be about this thing here. So yeah, anyway, enough waffling. Like I say, Bandcamp link is in the description box below. Master Nick's link is in the description box below. Like I say, I'm working on this video where I want to release this new song and whatnot, and I don't know what it's called. I don't know. I kind of want to call it something like Letting Go, but I feel that's a bit cliche. Anyway, and I don't really like the way it feels to the song, because it's not really about that in a way. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, everybody. I hope my answers have made some kind of sense. If I haven't, I do apologise. I have the fear, as usual, that I've just totally ruined your questions. But hopefully there's something in there you can take away. I've said a lot of weird things today, everybody, because I'm out of my mind with the intro jam. It's just took me elsewhere. And yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'll see you again. Goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching.